Tonight's training, the fourth Monday night training, is co-sponsored by the Democratic Party of Bernalillo County, as well as the Westside Dems, and I'm a volunteer in several capacities with both organizations. Thank everyone for attending. It's important for each of us to know how to make the hard ask and to share what we know with the people we are working with, volunteers and others, how to make the hard ask. In the, Flora, did you put the link for the script yet in the chat box? You
No.
sent it to me. We will be using the chat box tonight. If you go down to the bottom of your Zoom screen, you'll notice right in the middle is a comment box called chat. If you click on that, you will get into the chat box. If you have a question, go ahead and type it in. I'm asking if you do have a question, if you type a question mark before the question, that will help me to make sure I don't miss it, but it is really not necessary. And you can also make comments. We're going to have Tina making a presentation tonight, and we will try to take care of all the questions at one time. The session will run till 7:30, and we've got a jam-packed agenda. I ask that you use online etiquette. We speak to each other with respect and dignity, and we're going to try to speak one person at a time, and that's going to be Ivan trying to herd our group of cats tonight. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Flora has already introduced herself, our chair of our County Democratic Party, and Cheryl Harris, the vice chair. Our main speaker tonight is Tina Worley. Tina, can you give us a wave? Okay. She is the regional organizing director for CD1, as she said. She has a pretty impressive bio I want to share with you, just a few of the highlights. She graduated from Colorado College with a BA in International Political Economy. I don't know about you, but that sounds difficult to me. She spent 2.5 years working for the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee and the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency in logistics and operations before getting involved in politics. Tina, if we ever get to meet each other in person, I'd love to hear some of your stories. She worked as a field organizer for Mike Bloomberg in North Carolina and Organizing Together 2020 in Pennsylvania. During her time at Organizing Together, she was promoted to being a regional organizing director. She's excited about being here in New Mexico with us, and in her free time, she loves to hike, ski, run, explore, and any places with mountains. Well, Tina, welcome to New Mexico. I think you chose well. Okay, so what we're going to be doing for the rest of our time together, Tina is going to be giving a presentation, The Hard Ask. And that is going to cover the mindset, the language we use to make our ask, and the ask itself. After about 20 minutes, we'll stop for a moment to answer any questions that may have arisen. And then we're going to split up into 3 breakout groups. Now, this is the first time we're trying this online, so we're very hopeful it's going to work great. And the facilitators will be Flora, Cheryl, and myself, or Tina, depending on how Tina wants to work it. We'll have 20 to 30 minutes to practice in small groups. Then we'll do a 15-minute debrief, and then Flora will give us a 5-minute wrap-up and a strong call to action. So, without any further ado, I give you Tina Worley.
Well, thank you, Sue. That was a very wonderful introduction. I really do appreciate it, and I'm happy to help with the breakout. So I will share my screen with you all. Can everyone see the screen? Wonderful. So what are we talking about tonight? So we are going to cover the hard ask and the pitch. So the goals and agenda for this evening are to learn about the hard ask and discuss the language of effective asks. Discuss why the hard ask and call time are central building blocks of organizing. Practice honing our hard ask and pivoting and using our pivot with feedback from peers. So organizing is asking. In order to win, we need people to say yes. How do you get people to say yes? By asking them. So the hard ask uses a lot of different components. It uses strong language. For example, you want to be asking either or questions instead of yes or no. We want to make sure we're not closing the door on a conversation right away. We want to try to eliminate filler language and words that offer an out. Additionally, you want to be very specific. You want to get a hard commitment for specific shifts and or events. For example, you want to replace, can you make 10 a.m. with, does 10 a.m. or 1 p.m. work better for you? If you think about it in terms of when you are trying to get together with your friends, are you more likely to get together with a friend if they're more specific in terms of what time they want to meet you, when they want to meet you, or if they leave it very vague, right? So again, thinking of it in terms of being just very specific in what we're asking for. I want to make sure that we are having that urgency and providing context to people, convincing them that this is the most important thing they could be doing with their time and providing that context to them. A lot of times I get asked, why now? Why should we start now? Well, we know it happened in 2016 and we don't want that to repeat again. So this is why the urgency in asking and doing things now, having action now, is more important than ever. So the hard ask is a mindset. The hard ask is organizing, because organizing is asking, like we talked about before. The hard ask is the proper way to ask. The hard ask is the way of life, but you want to be politely relentless and relentlessly polite. And don't forget, you get most of what you ask for and none of what you don't. So again, you want to make sure that you're being persistent, but you don't want to come off and be perceived as rude and or aggressive. And you want to not stop at no. You want to continue to ask, because you never know what people are going to say unless you ask. If they say no, you're back to where you started, but at least you asked and you gave them that opportunity to say yes. So what is the point of the hard ask? The point is to get something that you want, whether that's home office furniture or something that you need, a phone banking shift. The point is to building up your organization to lead into another ask. So what do we ask for as organizers or as volunteers? We can ask for one-on-one meetings with local volunteers. We can ask people to come to phone banks or community events. We can ask people to host phone banks or community events. We can ask people to host virtual house parties, attend a virtual house party, help with data entry, help find supporter housing for an organizer, or take on new roles in our organizations. As you can see, the sky is the limit in terms of what kinds of things we can ask for. So the hard ask is an organizing tool that uses proactive, strong, and intentional language and tone such that people are more likely to say yes to what we're asking for. So making the hard ask. Sue alluded to this earlier. It's about the mindset, the language, and the ask itself. So we'll get more into this now. So getting into the right mindset, we are offering the opportunity to fight for the issues and candidates who they care the most about. We're providing the opportunity to have an impact on an election that has enormous stakes for the country and for their local communities. And we're inviting them to be part of something larger than themselves. Again, we want to make sure that people have these opportunities and feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves. Simply FOMO, right? The fear of missing out. We want to make sure we're offering these opportunities, but people want to be part of this. They want to be part of something greater and something that matters and something historic. So really creating that fear of missing out sort of environment. So making the hard ask, using the language. What language do we use? First, we want to provide context, offering an opportunity to do something meaningful, explaining why we're asking for something and why it's so important and urgent, and giving them a reason to say yes. I think of investment as a two-way street. If we are going to invest in you, you're going to come back and invest in me, right? So I want to be investing all my time and energy in you and providing you with that context and that transparency. You're going to have a lot more buy-in and a lot more enthusiasm for the work and the opportunity if you understand why I'm asking for that and why it's so important and urgent now rather than later. For example, we want to make sure everyone has the opportunity to vote for Democrats up and down the ballot. The best way to do that is by calling voters and telling them why we support Democrats in this election. So one thing that my organizers do is they use their personal story, why they're motivated, what's motivating them this election cycle to be involved and to get people involved. Additionally, we want to be able to know our audience. We want to build rapport by asking questions. asking ourselves what motivates this person, what barriers are keeping them from getting involved, and what is this person's self-interest. Again, we're trying to diversify our audience, and we know we're talking to a diverse audience. So we want to make sure that we understand what's motivating them, and then potentially what are some barriers of getting involved. Just making sure we fully understand the picture and we can help pivot and talk to those people about some of those barriers and challenges, persuading them to join the cause. And I would say one of the barriers probably with COVID-19 and just virtual organizing is, again, we're all trying to do digital organizing together and for the first time. And so just knowing our limitations, but knowing where we're at, right? We're trying to meet people where they're at. So those are just some potential barriers that I've seen. But again, nothing is impossible to overcome. So for example, have you ever gotten involved in a campaign before? Great, welcome to the team. The work we do is fun and easy, and it makes a huge difference. We will show you exactly what to do. So in this particular instance, this is someone who is interested and excited to join the campaign, but they haven't maybe had the opportunity to volunteer in the past. So they're a little tentative about what steps and processes they will need to know in order to be successful at volunteering. So again, meeting people where they're at. If they've never been involved before, no worries at all. We'll train you right before you start and make sure that you feel comfortable and confident with the material. We want to be clear and direct. Be specific about what we need and when we need it. Again, going back to the earlier example, if you're asking a friend to meet you someplace, you're more likely to say yes if you know exactly when to be there and the location to be at and what time to be there. Don't equivocate. Avoid do you think, possibly, maybe your other weak language. We want to be confident in what we're offering. We're offering wonderful opportunities, and we have confidence that those are opportunities that people are interested in. So again, be confident, but also be clear and direct. We will be calling voters in Santa Fe on Thursday from noon until 3 p.m. Let's meet on Zoom at 2:45. As you can see from this example, the people who are participating in this particular event know what time the event starts, but they also know what time people should be in the Zoom room, right? So not only do they know the context, know their audience, but they also know when and where they need to be. So it makes it easier on them because they already have those clear expectations at the very beginning. And we want to be assumptive. We want to ask either or questions, not yes or no. Again, not shutting down the conversation before we even have a chance to talk to them and have those opportunities to connect. We want to assume a yes, but be skeptical of a no. Assume that our supporters want to help Democrats win. Don't stop at one yes. So in terms of being skeptical of a no, a lot of times it's natural for the first word that we say out of our mouth is no. If someone asks us to do something and we're not 100% sure, or we want more information, it's very natural for us to just automatically say no. So that's why we should be assuming a yes and be skeptical of a no. Because most likely the no, we can talk to them and pivot to conversations of whether, of areas that maybe they're more interested in volunteering. Maybe they're not as interested in doing phone banking, but they're interested in text banking. We can talk about those opportunities. We just want to make sure that we're not assuming that just because they've said no the first time, they're going to say no to everything that we're asking. For example, this weekend, we're going out to talk to potential voters on the phone. Would Saturday or Sunday be better for you to help make phone calls? And one thing I really appreciate here too is, pivoting, right? Be positive in pivoting. One thing I think is really helpful is if they say, Saturday just isn't that helpful or is not that great for me. No worries at all. Sunday's even better. How about coming out and volunteering with us from 3 to 5 on Sundays? Again, making sure we're staying positive, but we're also pivoting to, again, meeting them where they're at and using that pivot, but also that positivity of if they say Saturday doesn't work, no worries. Sunday's actually even better. Or if they say, I ask them for both Sunday and Saturday and they say both of those don't work, you can then pivot to other events that you have or other things going on in your area. So now we're going to get to the ask itself. So again, in organizing, most yeses begin with a no. We want to make sure we're making multiple asks. Keep asking until we get a yes. And don't stop at one yes. Ask for everything that we need. We want to get a hard commitment for specific shifts. Some is not a number and soon is not a time. So one thing that I really stress to my organizers is every time we go into call time, I ask them to make an ask tree. And what an ask tree is prioritizing what kinds of things you want to ask for. And it's an easy way to visualize where you should pivot next. So for example, what is your highest priority? Our highest priority right now is virtual online office signups because we're hosting one on August 1st. The next priority would be phone banks and going down to text banking, etc. So what I ask of my team is that when we are asking and we have an ask tree, it's easier to pivot when you have things to ask for. So for example, if somebody can't make our virtual office opening, we pivot, no worries at all. We're actually hosting phone banking every day of the week. Can I count on you to come join us on Saturdays to phone bank? They say no, no worries at all. We also have text banking. Can I count on you to come text with us on Tuesdays from 3 to 5? So again, making sure you're having multiple asks, but also having different layers and ways to pivot. If people aren't interested in an event, ask if they want to volunteer to do something else. If they're not interested in phone banking, ask if they want to text bank. Again, having options, but also trying to meet them where they're at. Typically what we do with ask trees is we make sure that they are our biggest priorities at the top and then kind of winnow down from there. So I know the script, so we'll just kind of run through the script, and I know Flora has the script for everyone for when we do go into the practice. So hello, Sam. My name is Tina, and I am the ward chair for the Democratic Party in your neighborhood. I'm reaching out to invite you for a unique opportunity to meet your local Democratic candidates with no strings attached. This is one of the few personal interactions during the pre-election for 2020, where you can directly connect with candidates and be heard during the pandemic. It is also an opportunity for you to engage with your like-minded neighbors as equal participants. An informed voter is a powerful advocate during the most important election of our time. Will you please join us? Call and leave your name, address, email, and phone number. Verifying Democratic records at whatever your email is, phone number, or send it to my email. So we can send an invitation and password. Thank you for your time. As you can see in this script here, they gave an opportunity. They talked about context of who they were, why they were involved, why they're invested, and giving people an opportunity. Again, this piece here too, like-minded neighbors, the FOMO. If people realize that their friends are doing this, or they realize that like their neighbors are participating, they don't want to miss out. They don't want to be that only person in their neighborhood who isn't participating in this wonderful opportunity and event. They want to get involved. So it's wonderful that you guys have created the FOMO here already in your script, because again, you want to make sure that people feel included, but also don't want to be left behind. And here's another example of a phone script. Hi, this is Tina. I'm your neighborhood Democratic political junkie calling to tell you what we're doing to keep Donald Trump from a second term. This is not a robocall or a fundraising call. I'm making the call because with all my heart, this country can't survive 4 more years of this president. Our healthcare, our economy, our environment, our role in the world, and our commitment to human rights are at risk. We're organizing some Zoom events to help you learn more about the local candidates. Will you join me? You can contact me and leave your email address along with your full name at blank email, or text me your email address along with your full name blank. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Again, providing context, providing opportunities and an invitation to get involved, but again, providing that context as to why you're invested, why you're involved, and then providing opportunities for people to meet you there. So in summary, when we're having these conversations, we want to make sure that we're summarizing with them at the end. If you're talking to people, repeating about what they've agreed upon with excitement and firmness. Again, making sure, wonderful, I'm so glad you're excited and ready to help us elect Democrats up and down the ballot. I have you scheduled here to phone bank with us on Saturdays from 10 to 2. Just making sure that we're being firm with it and setting those firm times. Also telling them when you'll call them back. So one thing that our organizers do is that they make sure that they're confirming with their volunteers. Life gets crazy, things happen, no worries at all. But just making sure and checking in that people remember what's happening, but also are interested in coming to our events. So one thing that our organizers do is during this call, they'll say, I'm gonna give you a call back on Thursday before your phone banking shift on Friday, just to make sure that you got everything you need and that we're all set. And then giving them a compliment and a thank you at the end. We want to make sure we're being very appreciative. Time is our most valuable asset. So being really appreciative of any sort of time that anybody can give to you is really, really important. And give them a compliment. You enjoy that conversation and you're excited to work with them. So did you guys want to jump into breakouts now, or should we? What do you think, Sue? Would you like to jump into breakouts? We can happily just jump into breakouts now and then do best practices after.
I think so, because it's 6:30 and then we'd be right on schedule. And I'm sure we'll have some best practices question after we do our practice.
So I see an option for breakout rooms, and then I was thinking 3 breakouts, that would be 5 participants per room. And automatically then it just distributes everybody to the different rooms. Is that what happens? Does that sound good? Do you want to do it that way then, Tina? Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
that works for me. Do we have questions in the chat box? All right.
Someone asked if you were going to be sharing the slides. I have them in our Google Drive. Would it be okay with you if I shared that?
I believe so. Let me just double check, but I'm pretty sure, yes.
I'll wait for you. We can send it out to everybody afterwards. You can check and then we can send it out to everybody afterwards. Okay, so if I hit create rooms, and everybody's going to go into different rooms then, right? At this point? Okay. Bye, everyone. Open all rooms. There we go.
Hey everyone.
Hello there.
I see that we have Ivan, Damien, Markella, and Janet Simon on. Is that right? Is everybody on?
That's what I got on my screen.
Everyone is there. Let's go.
Who is Ivan? Are you leading this breakout, or who's leading it?
It's
Well,
either Jose or Markella.
Oh, okay.
What we usually do is we usually do a training of hard ass, and we do role playing. So if you'd like, maybe Markella can do we can do the examples, and then maybe we can pair up and do these calls on some other platform, or one by one individually.
Let's just stay on this. I think we should stay on this platform.
Right, yeah.
Keep it simple.
Right, yeah, stay on here.
Everybody has a copy of the blurb in front of them, right? The script.
I do not. Let's see. Where do I?
It was in the chat.
Oh, and I can't. I bet I should have. Let me see. Chat. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, and Markella's right. We should just we can all stay in here and we can pair each other up and do the role playing as
I think the pair off will be hard, so let's just do the let's just have each person go. So let's start with Janet. Did you find a copy of the script?
No, because apparently when we went into the breakout rooms, the chat disappeared from the original room.
Yeah. That's why I think Markella, you and I should just do an example and see if maybe if people don't have the forms, maybe they can try to see what we've done. And
Sure.
also, All right.
I have a copy of the script. Let me see if I can like add it in there. But Damien, you have a copy in front of you, right?
You know what? I just clicked on something and I disappeared. And I was trying to open the link and I did something. So let me see if I can even get back to where you all are. And
I can share it. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Let's see here. That's weird.
Okay. So everybody
Oh, there we
has
go.
a copy
Okay,
of it in front of them again?
I am back. Oh, no,
Okay.
no. What is going on here?
Ivan, do you happen to have a copy in front of you? Oh,
That, I won't be making calls, so you can pass me by.
oh, no problem. Okay. All right. So, Damien, you have one in front of you, right? A script?
I wish I could say yes, but I have the link. I just can't see. It won't open on when I click on it. So I'm
Do you
not
want
sure.
me to share it on the screen?
Yeah,
Yes,
that would
please.
actually. Sure.
Let's do that. There. Okay, are you seeing it there?
No, it says has started sharing, screen sharing, but it's not. Right.
Okay, well, as soon as it does share, Damien, I will be your your cold call person. So you
There
go
it is.
ahead and try it on me, and then Jose, do you mind pairing with Janet, and then she can practice on you?
Sure. Or else we can. Or else I think the better example would be you and I doing it, and then having everybody else do it. Only because that way we can show them what we've been doing.
Okay, if that's what you want to do.
What does everybody else think?
No, I think that's perfectly fine. So you can go first. If you want to be the canvasser, or do you want to be the person being
Sure.
called?
Sure. I'll do the canvasser. I'll do that part.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Hello. Is Markella available, please?
Yes, I am. Who am I
Oh.
speaking with?
Yes. Hi, Markella. My name is Jose Perez. And I'm one of the field organizers for the Democratic Party in New Mexico here in Bernalillo County. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much. I'm reaching out to invite you to a unique opportunity to meet your local Democratic candidates. This is with no strings attached. This is one of the few personal interactions between the pre-election for 2020, where you can directly connect with a candidate and be heard during the pandemic. It is also an opportunity for you to engage with your like-minded neighbors as equal participants. An informed voter is a powerful advocate during the most important election of our time. Will you please join us?
When is this event again?
It's going to be Saturday, August the 1st, 12 noon. It's from 12 noon to 1 p.m.
I'm not really sure I'll be able to make that.
Well, if you can't make it to that, what we also have our schedule of events, so we can make phone calls, text banks, and we're going to have other events that we're going to be having in the region. I'd like to invite you to all of those, and in the meantime, even send you or connect with you one-on-one. It'll just be a 30-minute discussion, so I can let you know the future plans of the New Mexico Democratic Party here in Bernalillo County. Can you do that? Can you meet up with me tomorrow at 1 p.m. in order for us to discuss all the future events for the New Mexico Democratic Party?
Well, tomorrow is Tuesday, and I work during the week. Are you available maybe on like a weekend to talk about it?
Sure. How about if Sunday works better for you, because I'm not sure about Saturday, but Sunday at 1 p.m., 2 p.m., or 3 p.m., any of those time slots, they work for me.
Okay, let's do Sunday at 3.
Sunday at 3. Okay, Sunday at 3. What I'll do then is I'll give you a call. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna set up a Google Meet. That way, you and I can connect virtually, online, face to face, so that I can discuss more about what we're doing to make sure that we elect Democrats up and down the ballot this November.
Yes, I have no problem with that.
Okay, so then I'll be sending you an email to your email. Can I have your email actually, because I don't have it in my records right now?
Yes.
I can send that information via email.
MarkellaClinton@gmail.com.
Great. So I'll be sending you an email with the date, time, Sunday at 3 p.m. In which you and I will discuss the future plans for for this upcoming political cycle, so that we can get you involved with the New Mexico Democratic Party.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Markella. You take care. You have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.
I think they wanted us to stick a little closer to this script that they have.
Yeah.
I know that we used parts of like the script that we usually use, but I'm not sure they'll see that script.
Right, but you kind of threw the curveball at me, saying that you couldn't make it. So I figured.
Oh no! I meant the part about asking about like voting for Democrats all the way down the ballot and everything, because that's like a specific question from our script that we already use. But I'm not sure that that's gonna be on this one. So in case they were looking for that question, I didn't want anybody to be confused. So did you guys have any questions based on the interaction that Jose and I had? Janet, Damien, no questions, guys?
How about any observations? If nobody has any questions, does anybody have any observations as to like what you've learned already from Tina and how we performed the hard ask?
No, I think the only thing I would say is that I haven't done that much phone banking or but I do find that there's often a lot of resistance. Like it goes like Michaela was able to or was willing to make some time pretty quickly, and that's not always the case. So I don't know at what point do you kind of go, okay, well, we'll check back with you later or something like that.
Okay, we can definitely provide a very difficult example if you kind of want to test drive that.
I did ask for the Saturday virtual office opening. Markella said no. So what I did was what part of Tina's slide, which she said was pivot. So what I did was we pivoted, and I asked to have a meeting, a one-on-one meeting Sunday at 3 p.m. because she couldn't make it Saturday. So
right. So have some alternatives ready to
right.
wrap it up, which
right.
is of course not. But I'll make some stuff up because it's not in the script, but I can, yeah.
Right.
So let's go ahead and have Damien or Janet, whoever wants to go first. You guys can try to use which, I don't really care which script. You can be the first one or the second one. I think they're both available there. Thank you for sharing that with us, Flora. So who wants to go first?
I don't mind going. I'm trying to. I'm obviously kind of a computer illiterate here, but the script number 2 runs out at the bottom of my screen, so maybe I'll just do script number 1. Oh, there it is. Okay. Somebody help me out there.
And then Jose, do you mind being the person being canvassed so he can get some pushback?
I can do it.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hello, may I speak with Jose, please?
Yes, this is Jose.
Hi, Jose. Hey, I'm a neighborhood Democratic Party junkie, and I'm calling to tell you that what we're doing to keep Donald Trump from a second term. This isn't a robocall. It's not a fundraising call. I'm just calling because with all my heart, I really believe this country cannot survive 4 more years with this president. Our healthcare, our economy, our environment, our role in the world, and our commitment to human rights are all at risk. What we're doing is we're organizing some Zoom events to help you learn more about local candidates. Will you join me? You can contact me or leave your email or contact me directly while I'm talking to you, so that seems a little redundant. But anyway, would you be interested in doing that?
What is it again
Joining?
that you need me to do, sir? I'm sorry, because you gave me a couple of choices.
Yeah, we are doing Zoom events, and in fact, there's one this Saturday at 1 o'clock, and you'll be able to connect with your local candidates, like for the legislature, the House, the Senate, people who really have a direct impact on your life, and ask them questions, do some one-on-one time with them, which, of course, in this time of pandemic is really hard to do.
Yeah, that's fine. Saturday is a good day.
That's great. Would you mind giving me your email? I don't have an email for you, and I can send you the email invite and get you set up and welcome aboard.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. My email is Jose at NM as in New Mexico Democrat .org.
Oh, great. Well, it sounds like you're already on board from that email. Well, I will be at that meeting, so I'll see you then, and I look forward to chatting with you further. Thanks a lot.
That's great. Yes. Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
That was great. The only note I would have is don't stop at the first yes. That was definitely a great opportunity to say, like, we also have phone banking options. We also have text banking options. You know, I see you're available Saturday after the meeting. Do you feel like maybe phone banking with us for a few hours, something like that? But I think it was very professional, very pleasant. I know that this was your first time reading the script, so it was a little clunky, but that's not on you. The more times you read it, it'll definitely get smoother. But that was really great, Damien. Thank you so much. Janet, do you want to try with me?
I have one observation actually,
Go ahead. Sorry.
And of course I pointed it out during the role playing. That's when I asked for more specific times. So yeah, if we can be specific about our ask.
Right. Okay. And I probably didn't say that initially. I did.
Yeah,
Later.
No, don't worry about it. No, you know, that's why we do this. That's why we do this. So.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Thanks, Damon. And then Markella said, Janet, who's next?
Sure.
Janet, would you like to do the role play now?
We can. I will tell you the script that was being shared is no longer being shared. So I don't have the script memorized quite that quickly.
Oh, no, that's okay. Let me see. Can you send photos through this thing?
Flora is gonna put the script back up. I think she was doing something on the computer and it disappeared. She has informed me that it's gonna come back.
Give me a second and I will share my screen and put the script up.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I have a copy of it. I just put it in the chat. Maybe you can just read it off the chat if that's easiest. Janet, did you see it in there? I just kind of threw it. Oh, Ivan, perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, we got it. Yep, it's in the chat or wherever. Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, Janet.
All right. I guess we're using a phone, so one ring-a-ling-ding, as they say. Hi, is this Michaela?
Yes. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, I'm Janet. I am your neighborhood actual ward chair and a political junkie, calling to tell you that we're doing our best to keep Donald Trump from a second term. This is not a robocall or a fundraising call. I'm actually inviting you to a Zoom meeting that we're having on Saturday at 10 a.m. And we really are passionate that our country can't survive another 4 years of this president. He has affected our healthcare, our economy, our environment, and obviously our general public health during this time of COVID. Would you be able to join us at this meeting on Saturday at 10 a.m.?
I believe so. How long is the meeting going to be? You said it starts at 10. Do you know how long it's going to go for?
Just an hour. Just scheduled for 1 hour. And we will also, if you would be available, afterwards, we'll be having some opportunities for some other participation. We're organizing some phone banks and text banks if that's something you might be interested in.
I don't know about Saturday, but I do think I'd be able to do the phone banking that you stated. Are there shifts for that, or is it just kind of whenever I'm free?
There are basically shifts available every day, so we can certainly find a time that hopefully is convenient with your schedule. May we get your contact information, and then we can obviously send out the information about the phone banks and make sure that we stay connected.
Yeah, absolutely. So my email is going to be markellaclinton@gmail.com.
Okay. Great.
All right.
Right. Well, it's great talking with you, Markella, and look forward to working with you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yep. Bye.
Bye-bye. The only note, that was really great, Janet. Thank you. That was great. My only note on that would just be to just schedule that like follow-up. Especially if I'm going to be doing the phone banking with you, I think it would have been good to then try to get a one-on-one scheduled with me, kind of like how Jose did in his first example, where you kind of, I gave him some pushback about going to the event. So to pull me in further, he was like, hey, how about we just like set aside some time to talk about, you know, the political climate, see what we think. So that would just be my strategy suggestion. I think other than that, it was very smooth. You know, you made it clear like, hey, this is the event, here's the time. Oh, you can't make it. Well, we also have volunteering opportunities, you know. I think that was really great. Did anybody else have any notes for Janet? Anything for Janet to keep in mind?
I definitely do, but I'm gonna wait until somebody else does if they don't have any.
Oh, okay. That was the only note I had. Damien, did you have anything? Okay.
No, it sounded good to me. Yeah.
Okay, Janet. I like the way you transitioned over. You kind of took the script and you worked with it a little bit more. You know, or you worked with you refined it to your liking. So that's, you know, become comfortable with the script. So I noticed that also. I really like that about your presentation.
Thank you.
And then as far as examples go, Jose, did you want to do maybe one aggressive person, someone who's maybe a little less agreeable? You can be I'll be the canvasser this time, just so they can kind of get an idea, like if someone, you know, gives you a hard time, kind of just how to deflect.
Sure, I can do that. I can be undecided.
Okay, let me go ahead and pull it up at the chat. Okay. Ring, ring.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Markella Clinton. I'm your neighborhood Democratic political junkie, calling to tell you what we're doing to keep Donald Trump from a second term. This is not a roll call.
Are you sure you're trying to get a hold of me? Because I mean, Markella, I'm not sure who you're trying to get a hold of. You just said hi.
Oh, you're right. Is Jose available?
Yeah. This is Jose. I was just making sure because you never know who's calling for whom. Yes, this is Jose.
You're right. Okay, so like I was saying, Jose, sorry about that. My name is Markella Clinton, and I am working as a Democratic organizer here in Sandoval County. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. So I'm a local neighborhood political junkie, and I'm calling you to tell you what we're doing to keep Donald Trump from a second term. Now, this isn't a robocall or a call about fundraising. I'm making the call because with all my heart, this country can't survive another 4 years with this president. Our healthcare, our economy, our environment, our role in the world, and our commitment to human rights are honestly at risk. We're organizing some Zoom events to help you learn more about the local candidates so that you can be informed about issues, how they're going to be changing things in your own community. Would you be interested in attending any of that?
I don't know. I'm so busy. I just don't know when I can be of service. And I'm not even sure if I'm gonna vote for the Democrats. I'm just
Well,
busy.
I totally understand. There are a lot of issues in the air, and I would want you to consider every possible angle. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take down your email address. That way I can send you more information about upcoming events and who's running for what and kind of like what their policies are. That way you can make the most informed decision moving forward. Does that sound great?
Yeah. Yeah. I can give you my email. Sure. I mean, it's not gonna be a lot of junk mail, is it? I'm not gonna get like 100 emails from you a day, am I?
Oh, no, Jose. It won't be anything like that. We will just be keeping you informed about local events, like I said, with the one that's coming up on Saturday, August 1st. More virtual events like that are the kinds of things we'd be keeping you informed about, and we'd be keeping you informed as far as like candidates that are running in your area and adjacent counties as well.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm willing to like find out what's going on. I mean, questions as to which candidates are running and which ones I can vote for. Sure, I'm okay with that.
Okay, great. Let me go ahead and get that email address.
It's Jose at M as in New Mexico, nmdemocrat.org.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So I'm going to be adding you to our email list. And then I know that you said your schedule is really full, but all of our volunteering opportunities are going to be virtual, either through text banking or phone banking at home. I'm sure that you would be able to do some of that if you had time.
You know what? I don't know. I mean, I've never done them before. I mean, I haven't done any of, this all sounds new. Phone banking, text. I mean, I don't even know what that means,
Okay, no, I completely understand. So here's what we can do. I'm available next week to kind of sit down with you and talk about how phone banking works, how text banking works, and we can figure out what works for your schedule. I myself am available either Saturday or Sunday in the morning. Do those days work for you?
Saturday works better for me because Sunday is my family day.
Okay, so let's do, how do you feel about Saturday, 11 a.m.?
Saturday, 11 a.m. Sure. I mean, it's not going to be long, is it? I hope it's not a couple hours.
No. It'll be 20 to 30 minutes, real quick chat just about like your schedule, a brief explanation of just like how phone and text banking works. I can send you a couple links, make sure we see the same things on our screen. That way, when you're ready to go for your first shift, there's no confusion, you know where the script is, and you're ready to go.
Okay. If you can coach me through this, maybe I can do it.
Absolutely. Yes, of course. Like, I'm your organizer. I will always have time to do this kind of thing with you. So let's go ahead and meet up again on Saturday. Make sure we have a great, clear conversation about what the expectations are and how everything works. And like I said, I don't mind taking my time to walk you kind of through it and how everything is going to work. Okay?
Okay. That sounds fine.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time today, Jose. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to talking to you.
Oh, me too. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
You. Bye.
So did you guys have any questions, any observations? I know that I kind of went a little bit off script there, but I wanted it to sound less of a robocall. Like, it's okay to, make it sound like you're passionate about what we're talking about. And I hope that you guys noticed that when he said that, oh, like, I'm not really interested, like, I don't know if I'm going to vote for Democrats. I found that a good technique is to applaud people for their open-mindedness and their willingness to discern facts and decisions themselves, and telling them, like, yo, no, like, I wouldn't want you to just make a blind decision without being properly informed. I encourage that. Here's some information so you can be as informed as possible. Is always a good thing. Did you guys have any questions? Janet, Damien, Ivan, anybody?
Okay, so you set up a thing for Saturday morning or whenever it ended up being, and obviously in the time of COVID, so you're going to call him back, but you also said something about sharing information or sharing screens. What's like, just as far as the technical aspect of that, how would you email stuff to him, or you might try to set up a Zoom or?
Oh, we've got 30 seconds. Okay, I'll try to keep it quick. So usually what I usually do is I will make the event on my Google Calendar, and then I will email it and I will share it to the other person, and then they can RSVP to that, and then it shows up on their own calendar. That way we always meet in the same Zoom room. At least, Jose, is that how you've been doing it too? That's how I've been doing it.
Right. So then, yeah, and exactly. And I let them know that they can click on the link that I've set up, that I've sent to them. And that way that that's the way that we will meet face to face.
Okay, great.
Yes. Because of COVID, we do want to stress that it is going to be all virtual,
Right.
Zero contact is how we want to make sure we know people want to do it. Janet, did you have any questions in the last 3 seconds? Okay, great. We will see each other's in the room. Jose, did you have any last minute notes? Anything else?
No, none at all. Thank you guys. See you all soon.
You let Tina back in. She's in the waiting room. She's on the phone with me right now.
Zoom. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Technology, gotta love it.
Okay, well, we lost a couple people.
They're coming back.
Oh, now we have Janet, but we lost Judy Minks and we gained Janet Simon.
Hey, Tina's back.
Oh my goodness, yes. Zoom, I mean, that's something to think about for sure with connection issues and whatnot. So awesome.
But what would we do without it?
I know, right? Yeah, no. Zoom has been a lifesaver with digital organizing for sure. Wonderful. Well, Sue, would you like me to jump into the best practices, and we can then, or do you want to jump into just kind of talking about our breakouts right now? Either works.
You're muted, Sue.
Okay. I think if we take about a minute and a half for each group just to give a brief summary, that might give you some context then for the best practices to spend a little more time on. Is that okay with everyone? Okay. Well, I'll start with our group if that's okay. We had Dan and Lucas and Dorothy and me, I believe. And we had an opportunity for 2 people to try the scripts. We did both scripts, 1 and 2. And we learned some very interesting things. One is you often don't need it written out completely for you. Oftentimes a bullet list of key points will be good. Another takeaway is find your passion in the script or in the key points, because that will give you your power and your strength and your ask, and it may also serve to motivate the people you're asking. Oh gosh, that's all I can remember right now. Anybody from our group want to add anything else? Oh, and practice.
Also practice, and assume that you're talking to a friend. So you assume that yes, so that when you're making that hard ask, it's a hard, but it's a friendly ask. That's the most important thing. So when you're asking for something, assume that yes, and be like, all it takes is your email address, and I'll make sure you get sent that information. What's your email address? Don't give them a yes or a no, but be nice about how you're asking for the information.
Okay, I think that's it from our group.
Perfect. Well, we can go next. So Cheryl and Jerry and I believe Judy were in my group, and it went very well. Cheryl was our, I guess, guinea pig's not the best word, but she agreed to volunteer, which I really appreciated. And we talked, we had feedback, we talked a lot about things. I think one thing she did quite well was pivoting. Jerry was our pretend voter, and they had some hesitations about joining the huddle via Zoom, and were, concerned about some of the tech barriers. And Cheryl did a great job of addressing those and really meeting that person where they're at. One thing too I talked about was I loved how Cheryl at the end, the conversation went in a different direction, but she brought it back to the script, brought it back to asking if they would come and participate in the huddle, which I think was really important. But I really appreciated, that Jerry was using real live examples that she has encountered. So I think, again, that's really important and helpful when you're doing hard ask practices. We do this a lot in our teams of, using real life examples, because you're probably going to get those again. If not you, someone else in your team is probably going to encounter that same scenario. So it's helpful to practice and be prepared and be proactive instead of reactive. So I really appreciated getting to spend some time with Jerry and Cheryl and getting to hear their hard ask and their, going back and forth. I thought that was a very great conversation.
They're pretty cool people too. Yeah. Markella, do you want to talk about the other ones?
Yeah, absolutely. So in my group, it was Damien, Jose, and Janet. And we basically started by Jose and I provided an example first, kind of like, hey, this is what we've been experiencing. This is what the average conversation is going to be, so you guys know where to go from there. And then we had Damien go first. I think it was very, he did a really good job as far as making the other person feel comfortable and just being like, hey, so like, this is what we're doing. This is the event. The only note we had was just, don't be too excited about that first yes, definitely keep pushing. And then when Janet did hers, she was really good about reminding people about the time and being very clear about like when the event was, when the event would be happening. So it was just mostly going over how to get that that one-on-one scheduled, like how to take it to that next step, which was really helpful, I think. And then Jose and I, like, we even learned how to deal with more difficult people ourselves. He was a very difficult independent that I was trying to swing and get interested into coming to our events. So like that practice I think was really good, and I think it provided a strong example.
That my observations were that I really like Damon's approach. He's really wanting to make sure that he read all of the script, stuck to the script, and made the ask there. But of course there was a little bit of pushback from me in the example, and he was able to recover. I like that part. Janet was able to use the script. Then she was able to familiarize the script, and she was using it, improvise a little bit, made it more her script. So that's a one tip that I really like to bring up, is that we always do that. Also, I think we brought up the fact that we should be more specific to the events that we're going to have and the times. So those are the key observations that I also saw.
Awesome. Yeah, I think, scripts are really important. What I found is, and, my team can attest to this, we're getting more comfortable with our scripts, and the more comfortable you become with it, the more you can, play around with it a little bit, right? You want to make sure you're still sticking to the messaging, making sure you're asking for all the things that you need and or want, but you become more natural with that script as time goes on. I know in, previous campaign jobs I've had, where there might have been some awkward wording, or maybe there's a little bit of, I found just with trial and error, this one particular sentence wasn't that effective, but I still was able to utilize that script to get everything that I needed from that conversation. So I think, again, the more you practice with it, the more comfortable you'll become, and you can make it your own. You can, change when you would ask for a phone banking shift versus when you would ask for a one-on-one meeting, right? So again, making sure you're comfortable with that script, but also making sure you're also sticking to the messaging and being very intentional with it as well. Well, thank you all for sharing. I appreciate that feedback.
May I ask a quick question? A comment about somebody taking the role of being an independent. Okay, do you have something that you can just throw out there, just like some bullets real quick, about how to handle an independent with like just some upfront advice about how to talk to an independent?
Well, one thing that I was the difficult independent. What I did was I just what I think Markella did was, more than anything, what she did was that she said, "Oh, look, we have a candidates forum this Saturday at 12 to listen to the from the candidates." So that I think is better than anything, than trying to persuade them, because you actually have them come in and listen to the candidate's position, and that tends to work very well for me.
For my example, when we were in our breakout room, I find that most independents respond positively when you immediately applaud them for choosing an open-minded stance. I usually say something along the lines of, "Oh, that's great. I'm glad that you want to be as informed as possible about the issues, and like you're making decisions based on that. So here's more information," or like, "Can I get your email? That way we can maybe talk about some of the issues that you're passionate about. That way maybe I could, have that one-on-one lead into possibly getting them to phone bank." And I always tell them, like, "Hey, the party wants to hear other opinions. It doesn't always just want to hear how great it is. Like, we want to hear about like people who aren't 100% satisfied. We want to hear like your opinions. That way we can, we can make it good moving forward." So I would just say, encourage them, compliment them, just be like, "Hey, it's good that you're open-minded. It's good that you are trying to weigh everything before you make a decision. Here's, access to more information."
Thank you. Thank you. That helped a lot, both of you.
So I will jump back in and share some best practices. So we've had some time to practice, which is wonderful. And, again, just kind of reviewing some of the best practices that we've talked about. Again, we want to start with the why. Context is so important. Let them know why we're making this ask. We're offering an opportunity to be some part of something bigger than themselves. We're not asking a favor. We're inviting them to stand up for something that they believe in. And know your audience. Connect on personal details and build rapport by asking questions. Again, going back to our previous slides, making sure we understand what's motivating them and maybe what's preventing them from participating or volunteering with us. So really getting to know them. This is where we could talk about what's motivating us and why we're really invested and interested in being part of this bigger movement, and have those genuine connections and those genuine conversations. So during the ask, be unapologetic and confident. If they support Democrats, they should volunteer. Never give people an out, and provide context. Convince them that this is the most important thing they could be doing with their time. Again, we're wanting to build that urgency. Why do we need them now and not closer to election day? And they follow-up ask. Making multiple asks. Again, most yeses begin with a no, so continue to ask. You never know unless you try. Keep asking until you get a yes, and even if you get a yes, keep asking if you've got more things on your ask tree. Plan and prioritize your asks. Ask for the hardest and most time-intensive needs first. Again, we talked about this. The waterfall ask is another example or another way to describe the ask tree that I talked about earlier. So on my ask tree, if we're not prioritizing any particular event, I'm most likely going to ask for phone banking first, because phone banking is typically one of the harder asks to get people to volunteer for. And then if they say, you know, I'm not very comfortable on the phone, I don't want to talk to strangers, I don't want to talk politics to strangers, no worries at all. We also have text banking. Text banking is wonderful because you still can be engaged with voters in New Mexico, but you can do it from the comfort of your home and with our web-based texting platform. And if they don't want to do that, no worries at all. We've got all these other wonderful opportunities and kind of going down the list that way. Again, you want to be strategic and smart when prioritizing your asks, asking for the hardest, most time-intensive thing first, and then going down from the hardest down to the easiest and hoping that they say yes to at least one, if not more than one of those asks. And ask through the yes. Again, if the answer to your first ask is yes, keep asking. Great, see you on Thursday. We also have phone banking on Saturdays. Can I count on you to come out and volunteer with us on Saturdays? Again, you never know unless you ask. And ask through the no as well. There are 3 kinds of no's. Jerry, Cheryl, and I were talking about this a little bit already. The not now. Again, talking about urgency. Why now? They're going to ask, why are we mobilizing now rather than waiting until the early fall? And the answer is, we don't want to have happen what happened in 2016 to happen in 2020, right? We want to make sure we've mobilized, we've built that infrastructure, and we're prepared for November. The not that, they're not interested in that particular event, or they're not interested in that particular opportunity you're trying to ask them to do. So what you want to do is you want to pivot. If they say they're not comfortable with phone banking for a myriad of reasons, no worries at all. We've also got text banking and talk about the benefits and the allure of text banking. If they're not interested in that, no worries at all. We just actually came out with a new app called Reach. You can reach out to people that you know, your local contacts, and get them involved. Again, trying to pivot and finding that perfect volunteer opportunity for them. And it could be, you know, something as simple as want to talk to them and just get to know them and their community better. And not ever. This is people who, Democrats should support us no matter what. A lot of the people that we're reaching out to are Democrats, so they should be invested and want to support us. So not never is not a good enough excuse, right? We want to be creating that FOMO, that fear of missing out. Well, your neighbors down the street are doing this, or, a lot of your neighbors are invited and are participating in this event. Can I count on you to come to this event on Sunday? Whatever that is, again, creating that fear of missing out, because people don't want to miss out. People want to make sure that they're part of the action and they want to be part of something historic. So when do we use this hard ask? All the time. You can use it all the time. My organizers know that we use it all the time, whether it's in meetings with our volunteers, whether it's during call time, or it's text message, in the Reach app. We use it anytime we can because, again, we're offering opportunities for people to be involved. And it's just too important of an election to pass that up. So the main takeaways. The hard ask is one of the most important tools in our toolbox as organizers and, organizing in our local communities. Again, we are providing an opportunity to get involved in this historic election. This is not a burden. This is an opportunity to be involved in history. You get some of what you ask for and none of what you don't. Again, we don't get anything that we don't ask for. It's similar to the Wayne Gretzky quote, right? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So if we don't ask, we're not going to get a yes. So we might as well ask, because the worst they're going to say is, no, thank you, I'd rather not. Okay, let's pivot and let's see if we can ask them for something else. And even if they say no to those, at least we've asked and we've entertained that idea and shared opportunities with them. So does anyone have any questions before I know Flora is going to wrap us up here?
Really wasn't in the chat box, but it might be good to have, we do have a few minutes for a discussion right now.
Well, the one thing that I want to say is that I was able to go into the different rooms, and I am very impressed with this team of field organizers. I am really happy that we have you all working in our community. So thank you all for being here. Looking forward to partnering with each and every one of you. And I think it's going to be a great win. And you all are going to make it happen alongside us. So that's very cool. Yep. So is there Jerry, Cheryl, Dorothy, Demi? Did anybody have any other? Janet, anything you'd like to contribute?
Like Flora said, I think you're going to be a great group of local organizers. We had a good group in 2016, but it looks to me like you're going to top them. And I think we're going to have good teamwork and cooperation between the party folks and the coordinated campaign, the national campaign. So I wish you all the best. I'm amazed the organizers from just 4 years ago, the things they're doing now. A lot of them are working for candidates who are now not candidates anymore. They're in office and everybody's got careers going, and our organizers from 4 years ago are doing great things, and I think you all will too. So it'll be fun. And any day now, we're going to know who Joe picks to be vice president.
Yes. Oh.
Yay. So who's everybody rooting for?
I'm rooting for Kamala. I was a super volunteer for her in Las Vegas. I even got to go march in the Pride Parade with her in San Francisco. So that was really fun. I love her.
Were you there for her kickoff in San Francisco?
I was not. No, I wish I was. I was in Las Vegas.
Yeah, she had a good one. Who else is everybody else rooting for?
I really have always liked Elizabeth Warren, but I'm really on board. She would be my first choice, but I'm really on board about the African American, about a black female. I'm on board about that, and I also dearly love Stacey Abrams. Less experience though, but she's so exciting.
I'm rooting for Elizabeth first, Kamala second. I love Val Demings too, and I had the opportunity to meet Karen Bash when she came here for our Black History Month, and I really like Karen Bash too. She's been kind of a late bloomer in all of this. Lucas was for, I think I saw him pumping his fist for Elizabeth.
Yes, so I actually, during the New Hampshire primary, I ended up working for her campaign. Sadly, she didn't do very well, which is big sad, but I would love to see her for vice president. I also wouldn't mind seeing like Tammy Duckworth. I think she would be a very interesting candidate and a great candidate as well. Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I love Michelle.
Michelle?
Michelle.
I think she's a long shot.
I think Michelle would make a wonderful vice president and president, but we need her in New Mexico.
I'm
I
sorry.
know that's selfish, but I want her to say, she is doing such a great job with the virus, and it just makes me so proud to have voted for her. And we need her. We need Michelle here.
I agree. I met Michelle Obama.
I was going to say, I think she means the Michelle. The Michelle.
Great.
Oh, Michelle Obama, no way.
It's not gonna
What about you, Jose?
I know.
You're being quiet.
Suzanne Rice. She has
Susan Rice,
she has foreign policy and domestic policy experience. You know what? And as we can see with Trump, nothing beats experience.
Demi, what about you?
Who did you say, Jose?
Suzanne Rice.
Oh, Suzanne Rice. Yeah, Susan Rice.
The United Nations ambassador.
Yeah,
Demi,
Susan Rice.
what about you?
I keep trying to unmute on my picture and it doesn't work. It still doesn't work. My first choice would be probably Elizabeth Warren. I was going to say Michelle Lujan Grisham, just more as the hometown girl, and I like Karen Bass. I think what I've heard of her, I haven't, I don't know that much about her, but what I've heard is pretty strong. So I guess those.
See, here's the amazing thing. All of those women that we all just mentioned, they are all amazing. They are all experienced. They are all incredibly good leaders. And look at the piece of shit we have in office now. Any one of them are so much better than him. You know, we can't go wrong, no matter who Biden picks. So.
I couldn't agree more. I feel the same way. Just Biden can pick a coat rack, and that coat rack would probably do some great work for the country.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's true. It's like somebody said the other day, we have an embarrassment of riches with all the females out there that are supposedly being, talked to, vetted, and all that. It's incredible when you look at that group of women. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's half the cabinet right there, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it too, Cheryl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go ahead and we've got 5 minutes left, so we'll wrap up. The coordinated campaign is doing some great stuff, and thank you for the work you're doing once again. Tina is putting together a weekly list of events. It's got events such as phone banking, text banking, reach friend banking, as well as trainings, so that as we bring people in, if they're not comfortable doing the hard ask, well, that will be a regular training on the rotation, as will how to text bank and phone bank. And so we're really fortunate that they're giving so much of their time, and it's each one of these field organizers will be leading these different events. So it's really cool. We've got strong young people. Jerry was talking about how she really likes the fact that you all are you're not just brilliant, you're obviously brilliant, you're young, and that's just so cool.
Yes, we're jealous.
So we're looking forward to that. Dorothy?
I have a couple of technical questions real quick, Flora. Are we going to have some sort, actually this is for Tina, are we going to have some sort of master calendar about what days of the week all these things are happening so we can keep them straight? And will that be on the web, or is it going to be sort of semi-confidential among the people in the party?
I think I can answer that. We're going to be, she shared it with me, Cheryl, and we're going to dedicate a section in our newsletter, the DPBC, both the Friday and Tuesday newsletters, to be able to say, here's what the coordinated campaign is doing. But we're also going to have it on the website. It'll be part of the landing page. That and get out the vote, because one of the huge challenges we have, right, is the helping people to know what to do to vote this year, how to vote this year. So we've got to really make that just one of the things that we're out there. What is your plan for voting? And here's, you can find the information right on our landing page and in our email. So,
and then my other
Tina,
question,
Tina, if you want to add anything to that. Yeah.
No, that sounds wonderful. I think that's a great place to have it. Sure, I'm happy to send that to you, because our
No, it's fine. If it's in the Blue Review, and you all should subscribe to the Blue Review, you organizers, so you'll know what's going on there. The other technical kind of question I have is, Dan, you sent an invitation to me, and maybe you sent it to other people, inviting me to the MTO, Meet the Organizer meeting. I'm not sure everybody would know what an MTO meeting is, and I thought you should spell that out. And I was curious, did you get a good list of all the precinct? This was for precinct chairs and ward chairs, I think you said. And so I'm wondering if you got a good list of all of them to mail it to, or if you needed any help with that. And the same thing goes for the rest of you in your MTO meetings.
I'd appreciate some more help with that. I know you sent some contacts over, and I sent some invitations to them as well. But generally, the Meet Your Organizer meeting is a chance for the precinct chairs, the ward chairs, and then active volunteers, super volunteers in the area to get a chance to meet the coordinated field organizers, learn who we are, ask us some questions, and learn about the opportunities to volunteer this cycle.
Okay, then there's a lot more names I have to send you because all I gave you were 3 or 4 really key names on the west side. So there's a lot more than that. I'll send it to you tomorrow.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Okay.
And I have a suggestion, and that is for the team working in the Bernalillo County area. If you haven't already, try to participate in some of the huddles, the candidate huddles that are going on. You'll get to see some faces, meet some volunteers, and also get to know the candidates in a very short period of time. And I'd also like to ask, in terms of follow-up to the meeting, we're still waiting for an answer on whether we can share Tina's PowerPoint slides. And did everybody get the link for the scripts 1 and 2 so you can have those in your possession and play with them a little bit? Dorothy, did you ever get that? Dorothy, you're muted. We'll make, if anybody needs it, I'll just go ahead and send it to you. I'll make sure Dorothy
Could you
gets it.
just send it to me by email?
Sure will,
Yeah.
Dorothy, no problem.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so I guess all we're waiting on is the PowerPoint slides. Flora, can you think of anything else that we would want to share?
No, Tina, I'll get the link to the calendar with all the huddles on it to you. And that way we can, you all can see which ones are the ones that you'd want to attend. Mandy's been real good about following up with the people that I put her in touch with. I like to do the same with you, Lucas, and Jose. Dan, you're of course in touch with Cheryl, who will put you in touch with all of the people on the west side. So I'm looking forward to it, and we can, get you, so we know who the strong people are in those areas, and to be able to get you hooked up with those people would be great. So yeah, it's a pleasure meeting you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Flora, and I'll get you that information tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, guys.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.